Hey everybody, Ryan here at 5 Drakes Farm. So doing a little fencing project here. Been something kind of working off and on all summer long as time allows me to do so. So I'm up on my 3-acre pasture, and back in the winter time we had hay bales set out on the other side of this fence line. It was all, sorry, I'm sweating like crazy. It's humid as heck. But it's not raining and it's cloudy, so it's the perfect time to get some work done. But I had hay bales set up on the other side of this fence line, and we had field fence. So this whole 3.5 acre pasture is all field fence. This is the first fencing project I ever did on this farm when we first moved in. I went with field fence because at the time we had goats and like 2 cows. So if anybody raises goats, you know, if you can pour water through the fence, the goats can get out. Now we had larger goats, we had Boer goats. So they're not as good as escape artists as small like pygmy goats or whatever. So we did field fence, and it took me like a solid month to do this pasture. But when we started getting more cows, the cows would come in and they would lean up against the fence and stretch it all out. And I got tired of trying to fix it and retention and everything else like that. So this winter was kind of the icing on the cake. I came out one morning, and the cows had like completely collapsed the fence down, and how they didn't get out I have no idea, but they never got out. So I got tired of patching it and everything else. They were trying to get to the hay bales on the other side, even though they had hay, you know, fresh hay in a ring. They wanted to, you know, I guess the grass is always greener, so to speak. So beginning of the summer we ended up taking our bull calf that was at the time, he was in here, Mr. Utah. He's our now herd bull, and we had 2 females in with him. They have since moved across the field in with the rest of the herd when we put everybody together. So I've been kind of cutting this apart and taking it down, and I don't know how many times I've mowed this stretch of grass so I could come in here and do barbed wire. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do 6 strands of barb. On the lower field I have the heavier gauge, thicker barbed wire, and that's only on, I think they only have 4 strands down there. This is a little bit of a thinner gauge, but it has more barbs per linear foot. So I have 2 rolls of this laying around. Actually we use for our top wire. So our top wire is just this here, and this is what I'm going to use for the whole thing. The cows don't like it, even though it's such a small gauge wire. This stuff has actually held up pretty well. So instead of buying the heavy red brand stuff, I'm going to use the 2 rolls that I have of the Beckert. So this is the Beckert high tensile. The only thing I don't like about the high tensile is if it gets a kink in it or whatever, where if I tighten it too much, it'll snap. I like to have my barbed wire like guitar string tight. So I got 1 line ran so far, and we're not stretching real far. We're stretching maybe 80-90 feet. So I guess that cross brace out right there, if you can see it or not, is where I'm coming off of. So I got the 1 line stretched. I got some tension on it. It's not, I mean, it's tight. It's pretty tight. I'm probably gonna give it like 2 more cranks. But when you tie off, you know, you end up losing a little bit of tension. So I'm going to try and get it as tight as I possibly can without breaking it and starting from scratch. So I got all my tools here. I wanted to see if this was going to work or not. I do like working with this barbed wire. It's actually a little bit easier to work with as far as stretching it all out. The field down the bottom, I ended up using my side-by-side at the time and running a bar through the back of it and just drive the side-by-side. But down there we had, you know, 800 foot, 900 foot runs. So it was a lot to try and walk with, you know, a heavy roll of barb and not get yourself all cut up. So I am going to try and not get cut up here and get this done. So we're going to do 6 lines, 8 inches apart. Top line's going to be 48 inches. It should be fine. That's what I have, the top line set at the bottom at 48 inches, and I've never had any big cows get out. Occasionally we'll have a calf that'll slip underneath because I have 1 foot spacing on them. And that's just 4 strands. In the winter lot, I have 3 strands 8 inches apart, and then we go up a foot apart above that. I thought about doing that as well, but that's a heavier gauge stuff, so they can really lay into it. This, I'm not so sure. So I'm thinking 6 strands. It'll keep them from pushing their, getting their heads in between the barbed wire and eating grass on the other side. They do that down the bottom, but that barbed wire's been there for, I think we started grazing that field 5 years ago, and that's when I got that done. So we did this field up here first in the spring, and then I ended up doing the bottom field in the fall through September, October. That was another month and a half of doing that. So I have built the fence here all by myself. I did have at the time my middle son Liam. He did help me out a lot, but he's only 12 years old. He was 9 at the time, 8 at the time, and he was helping me out. So it's nice to have an extra set of hands. But today is first day back to school, so I don't have 3 kids to contend with today, plus everything else. My middle son, Liam, he is actually homeschooled. So this year he is doing online school. So I'm hoping that takes a little bit of time away from doing that on my end to come out here and try and get projects done. He's been working all weekend long to try and get ahead before the first day of school. So far that's working. Hopefully he keeps his momentum up. I'll have to hold his hand as much, but we're gonna get this done. I'm gonna stretch this thing. We're gonna tie this off, release the pressure, and kind of the first line is to know how much tension I need to have to tie off. But let's see what happens. Set you down here. I'm gonna put my gloves on. I got a new set of gloves from the Kinko, so these are supposed to be for doing barbed wire. So we'll see what happens with these. So far I like them. I'm not really a gloves person, so we're going to come out here. We do have a good set of fencing pliers. If you own a farm, you know these things are worth their weight in gold. So let's see what happens here. So just using a ratchet strap or a natural strap around the post so I don't dig into the post. A 1 ton, actually a 2 ton come along, and I'll see how this goes. I'm gonna give this another crank, and it's a little bit easier when there's not a whole lot of barbed on here, but I think that should be tight enough. And I want to go 8 inches. So I kind of eyeball. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but like I hate working with gloves because I can't do things that my regular hands can do. So we're going to come in to about right there. I'm going to cut me off a piece so I can wrap it around tightly. I always like having more, just in case I have to re-stretch. Hopefully I didn't cut it too short. There's a better way to do this, but any tension I can get out of it prior to releasing it. usually do about 2 or 3 rats. It's usually pretty good enough. Keep it from slipping. And then when it gets tight, I'll do it a little bit more. Let's see where we're at here. 8 inches off the ground. That's pretty good there. All right, I'm gonna pull this off, pull the tension off, and see what happens. It's pretty tight. Now I got tension on here. Put another wrap on that. All right. That's pretty tight, especially once I get it stapled. All right, that'll work. I think that worked out pretty good, actually. And then on the other end, I have this thing. So you put this on the end of your come along, and that's what holds on, and you spin this off. So we're going to see if we can get this off of here without cutting myself apart. And I'm in the grass, so my camera stand absolutely sucks. Hopefully you can see that. You just twist it around and that comes off. But that's pretty darn tight. So I'll just run down and we'll start stapling at 8 inches. And I'm going to put a staple on the back end of this. So I'm going to put a staple on the back end of that on the post. But that's pretty much it. We'll put a staple there, and then that'll hold it in case it wants to slide. And then we got brace wire. I did the brace wire the other day. I had to put a couple posts, and I put a gate here because what I want to do is I got to put posts across here, and then I have double gates across my driveway, and that goes in the winter lot. So what I want to do is just build an alleyway here so we can push them from this pasture across the driveway and up into this pasture. Should save me a lot of time with trail running, gathering everybody up. Usually just, you know, rattle a bucket, a little bit of grain, and they come running. And usually when one comes through, the rest come through. So not too big of a deal. I still have some staples left on this on a couple of these posts I got to pull out yet from the old fencing. I just cut it versus pulling 800 staples out. But yeah, that's pretty good and tight. And I'm not even, I mean, mind my lines. They're not exactly perfect on my posts. But it's good enough for the women I go out with. So we're gonna get this stapled up here and move on to the next line and see what happens. But got a lot of stuff to do today. So if I can get this one section done today, I'll be happy. And then we'll run on the other side of the gate, I don't know, tomorrow or the next day, depending what the weather's going to be. It's been raining off and on like all day yesterday. They came out yesterday like 3 or 4 times to do the brace wires. And like as soon as I would get halfway through one, it would just pour rain. So thankful for the rain because it's August. But it's just every time you're trying to do something, it just pours rain on me. So I'm gonna keep going here, and I'm probably just gonna run all the lines, and then I'll come back and staple them out. As long as they're 8 inches on both ends, this shouldn't be a problem. So we're gonna pull the next set of lines, and then I wonder if I can set this on my thing. probably not gonna work. Be nice to have two cameras. So we're gonna stretch the next one out. Stretch the next set. Alright, we got that one tied off. On to the next one. my got that one all tied off. We'll move on to the next line and see how well this works. I don't know. But that line's pretty tight, so now I know how tight I need to make it. So we're gonna rig this one back up and we'll cut off some excess and do it again. Let's see what happens. Move this line over here, move this over here. So hopefully I don't run out of barbed wire. Shouldn't. Here. I'm keeping it as tight as close as possible. Mind me, I'm just rambling. Trying to get this set up here. Pain in the butt is trying to pull slack one-handed. I'll try and take most of the slack out of here. The other thing is trying to get the barbed wire to lay right on the thing. You don't want it slipping off. That'll work. That should do the trick. I'll get this this side to it. For now that I can walk through here. Stuck on the other piece. There we go. Hopefully I got enough. stuck on the other thing of barbed wire on the other line. That should be good. As long as it doesn't slip, we'll be fine. And get smacked in the face with something. Cut this off probably about here. And this stuff is very sharp. The red brand stuff's not bad, but this stuff is like razors. The barbs on it. And then too is try and get this to off of here. That's about right there. I'm gonna try something. I lost my spot. Thought that was 8 inches. That's what she said. All right, we're gonna go right there. I don't like that too much, but we're gonna run with it. A couple staples stabbing me in the pocket. And never put your staple tight against the barbed wire either. Leave a little bit of cushion for when the weather changes, because it will contract. It will loosen up or whatever, tighten up as the weather goes. Let's see if I can get this. this tight. Very tight. Kind of just wrap this around. I don't want the cows sticking an eye on it. That's pretty good. That's really tight. All right, so it's working out pretty good. Been a little while since I've done this, so it's all kind of coming back to me. Little tips and tricks and stuff on myself. Pull this off of here. Well, they worked out pretty good. So we got 2 lines up, 4 more to go, and we'll bring it back when we're done. But so far, so good. I'm liking it. I think I'm gonna start stapling. I think what I want to do. Sorry, I'm just dripping sweat. It's so humid out here. It's not hot, but it's just humid, and I sweat a lot. I usually go through like 3 shirts and 3 hats a day, so I have plethora of stuff. Yeah, we're gonna start stapling this up and get these 2 stapled in, and then I'll move on to the next ones. But I think you guys know how to hammer a staple into a post, so I'm not going to bore you with all that. We're going to end this here. We'll pick up again tomorrow or something. I'll show you when it's all finished and how it looks. Thanks for following along. See you in the next video. Out. Well, it's the next day, and we got the fence work all done. It's actually 2 days later. I finished up yesterday afternoon, and today it's supposed to rain all day, so not a whole lot getting done. So I'm out doing my morning chores, getting the cows fed, checked on the rest of the crew, filled up water tanks, and we're supposed to get, I don't know, like 1.5 inches of rain today. I was going to come in and mow. Take the tops off of this. It's starting to go to seed head. I'll show you the fence. Now that section down, this is where we started at the other day, and I did this side yesterday, and it turned out pretty good. I am liking this barb. We'll see how this brand of wire. We'll see how it holds up to the cows, but my cows really aren't pushy cows. They're pretty much just like giant grass dogs. Grass puppy dogs is what I call them. Because they're not hot-headed. They don't push on things really too much. And they're pretty good at respecting fence lines. So, I think we'll be fine. I got a couple more things I need to clean up. I need to clean up over here a little bit. I got some pieces of fence down I need to go in and get that out of here. And then want to mow out some of this ragweed. I don't know, past year, it's just been, ragweed has just exploded since the drought from last year. And I am probably going to have to spray to get rid of it, and I don't even know if that's going to get rid of it. So I might just have to deal with it, keep it mowed down. But my next plan of attack is, I want to do that today, but the rain coming. So that may be this weekend. I take you down through here. So this is one of the gates we put in, just a 6-foot gate, and then we're going to build an alleyway down from these 2 posts to these 2 posts, and then it goes into the winter lot. And then the driveway gates, one opens one way, one opens the other way, and then that creates the alley across the driveway. So it's been my plan for about 2 years to do this, and I don't know, time has gotten away from me on it, so I kind of planned that this was the year to get it done, but they're slowly running out of grass down the bottom. They have been munching on a hay bale, but I'm not ready to close my grazing season yet, so keep getting the rains, and things are still green. I mean, this time last year everything was brown and dry and dead. We started feeding hay in August. So I have 80 bales for the year. I just recounted my bales to make sure I got enough to get through the year, and we're gonna be cutting it close. So I don't want to start feeding hay early. We usually graze up and through October till beginning of October. Whenever the first frost comes in, first frost around here is anywhere between the 1st and the 15th of October. So I'd like to get at least another month and a half out of grazing season before I start feeding hay full time. So I'd like to get this done by at least September, and then push them up on this 3 acres for at least a month. There's a lot of forage in here. So 10 cows, 3 acres. I'm thinking maybe at least 3 weeks. If we get the rains and the heat kind of dies out a little bit, this will actually take off. I've actually mowed this twice because it got so tall. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, pretty thankful. Pretty happy with the fence job. Kind of kicked my butt a little bit. It's only like 300 and I think total from end to end is like 350 feet. So it's not terrible. And then splitting it up into 2 sections made my life a little easier. But for the most part, it does look pretty good. And strings are nice and that, the barb's nice and tight, so let's just see if it stays that way. And none of my H braces moved at all. I was kind of concerned about this one being a short one, if I would end up moving that, but those 2 posts are in the ground about 2.5, 3 feet in the ground with about 100 pounds of concrete, 120 pounds of concrete in each hole. So wasn't too concerned, but if the ground's soft enough, it might move a little bit. But we'll see. Thanks for coming along. See you on the next video.